Welcome back. Glad to have Stoney with us. Flew back today amidst the tornado warnings.
Yeah.
Not the greatest experience coming in. They kept you on the tarmac there with all the tornado warnings.
You know, that's not the smartest thing in the world, but, you know, hey,
Glad
we're
you're here.
safe and sound.
Well, you weren't here last night, and obviously I'm going to hop into it right away with you. The Tom Lewand situation.
Right.
And I should say this. Tom Lewand is a good guy. He's been friendly to me. I know he's been friendly to you.
A great
Made
guy.
a horrible mistake.
Absolutely.
But when you're you know if it happened to you, it would be big news. If it happened to me, it would be big news. When you have a job like this, a job like his, you have to live by a different standard.
And he came out and admitted it, and the Lions backed him up a little bit today, saying, you know, they support. Well, what a lot of people didn't know was when the stuff he was talking about, obviously, there's a problem there. Look, DUI is a very serious offense. Thank God nobody was killed. What has to happen is, you know, Roger Goodell is the guy, as the commissioner, who has basically been, I'm the sheriff, and I'm going to hand down, you know, legislation. We saw Pac-Man Jones, people like that suspended, all sorts of stuff. Now, when it becomes a team president, what has to happen? He has to use a similar, if not more, type of discipline to Tom Lewand that he would a player. Or else he becomes a total hypocrite, and that's what I expect to happen. No, is he going to get suspended from games? No, but there'll probably be a heavy fine. I mean, I guess you can suspend him from negotiations with, you know, Ndamukong Suh and the rest of the draft choices. I don't know what that does, but as far as, you know, people are suggesting, you know, lose job, no. One offense, same thing with the player. You do not, you know, have to lose your job. But yeah, he should be disciplined, and it should be more than a slap on the wrist. He should be fined, and we'll go from there.
It's horrible for the franchise, too, at this stage because, you know, they're on such a positive string of things happening here. They got Schwartz in place, a lot of good players. Suh gets on board. Best looks good. Guys coming back from injury. The last thing you needed right now was something like this from the guy in charge.
The moral of the story to anybody, and look, a lot of people have made mistakes, especially in your situation where you can afford it. If you're ever in that situation, hire somebody to drive you or get a cab.
Spoken wisely. Let's get to the Tigers because we got a series here with the Twins that people are going to say is big. My take on these series, particularly in July, is this. Unless a team sweeps and you're this close in the standings, it's really not all that big. Because if a team takes 2 out of 3, you're just talking about a one-game shift.
I just think it's important for the Tigers to somehow not get swept, number one, but do something on the road. I mean, this past week, 2-4 on the road against decent National League teams. The Twins are reeling right now. I mean, they had a trouble with Milwaukee among all teams, for crying out loud.
They come in 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah, and the White Sox all of a sudden are playing really well. So it's a 3-team race right now. It would be great to see the Tigers play well in Minnesota for the first time in who knows how long.
Greg Monroe is your new big man for the Detroit Pistons. I was impressed with his personality. I like his game. He seems to have some spring in his step. What's your reaction?
I think he's a good player, but he's not, I don't think, a franchise player. I don't think he's going to go and sell any tickets. Oh, we got Greg Monroe. Let's buy our tickets. I think he's a solid guy, and seems to be a well-spoken young man. You know, the knock on him is he might be a little too passive. Who knows if that's the case or not. I think he's, at that position in the pick, I don't think Joe Dumars had really much of a choice. He was the best player, especially best big man available. It was a good selection.
When you look at Tarico White, and I don't know a whole heck of a lot about Tarico White, but you see 6 feet 5 inches, kind of a in-between guy. My first reaction
they don't need
is
that.
But what's interesting is yesterday at the introductory press conference, he said he feels more comfortable at the point guard position. So perhaps that's what they're feeling, and they can put him there. He's maybe taller than some other point guards. That might be what's up their sleeve.
They had to get Tarico. They couldn't get like Van Pelt or Scott or any Olbermann or any other ESPN guys' names. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
So give me your Stonehead. We're going to stay clear of Tom Lewand. We're going to go another direction.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. I'm going to go international, but I do want to mention that Jerry Cedarstrom, the umpire in the Tigers-Braves game yesterday, 3-2 to Johnny Damon, bases loaded, and you call this pitch a strike? You got to be kidding. The Tigers are just getting jobbed all over. Between that, Jim Joyce, maybe you want to go back to the game 163, Randy Marsh. However, the Stonehead is the idiots at FIFA, the World Cup governing body of soccer, who refuse to at least go to instant replay or at least have a referee a linesman by the goal line. Today, England scores look at this goal. It's in by 2 feet, 3 feet. They didn't see it. And then in the second game, Argentina scores a goal that was ridiculously offsides. If you're going to have the world's biggest event, in quote, have the world's best officiating, Stoneheads!
Or at least have some replay. That is Mike Stone. You can hear him on 97.1 The Ticket every morning. He'll be on tomorrow morning starting bright and early at
6 a.m.
Go get some rest. We'll be back right after this with Emmanuel Stewart and a couple of his new hotshot up-and-coming boxers. Stay with us.